Okay, so if you are already tagged in a project, let's say, or you'll be going in for an interview, or let's say you are given a project now, so you'll be struggling with each and every step, what to do, how to do, how. So all those questions will be answered with this course, and you will be able to execute it properly. Now the question is how we are going to do it. Okay, so let's see how we'll be doing that. So this is a little brief about the course introduction, that okay, this is what we are going to do. We have talked about who are going to get most benefit from this course. So tools that we are going to use, so LoadRunner for creating the scripts. Then we have Dynatrace for that is a APM tool that we'll be using for doing the analysis. While running the test, we'll be doing the analysis, and we'll be going a little bit deeper in the Dynatrace tool. That okay, fine. If when I'm running a test, there are a lot of configurations that needs to be done. Okay, so how to do that configuration, how to create the dashboards and all. So we'll be seeing that. Then we have Grafana. So Dynatrace is a paid tool. Okay, so there is a possibility that in your projects as well as in your interviews, will be asked that okay, fine, I cannot afford this tool, it's an expensive tool. So one open source tool also you should know. So for that purpose, we have included Grafana. It's a open source tool, and you can use it. So how to use Grafana when you are in a project and you need to use a good monitoring tool. So Grafana will come into the picture. Then project management comes into the picture, that when you are working on a large scale, okay, and there are multiple parties are involved, then timely updating all the documents and communication will become crucial. So how to do a project management, so we'll be using Confluence. Then there's one Postman. So in the end, I'll talk about Postman, so when we'll be using Postman for that. Okay, so how, the question was how we are going to do. So first of all, we'll understand the what is the performance in life cycle. Okay, performance in life cycle is just not this, okay, I learned, okay, if you're new asked, okay, I will explain these steps now. What are the steps are involved, think we'll be understanding it logically. Okay, that okay, fine, if someone has to do it, how he is going to do it, and we'll be using some real-time examples to understand. Okay, even if let's say that it's not a professional project and I have to do, I have like I have to do execute a project. Okay, what are the challenges that will come up, then we'll be putting the boundaries and subsiding in a different subtopics, and then we'll be understanding okay, what is performance in life cycle. Then once that is done, so if you look at it, this demo, so each day we'll be spending on each topic. Okay, so day one will be talking entirely about performance life cycle only. Okay, the next day we'll be talking about performance walkthroughs. So it can happen that you'll be in a project in which sometimes client already know that okay, what is performance testing, and sometimes client doesn't know what is performance testing, so you have to explain it to them that okay, what this is what performance testing is, this is how I'm going to improve your system. Okay, so you need to have a performance testing walkthrough in which you will be explaining how and when you need to incorporate performance testing and how it will improve your system. So we'll be going through that. Okay, how to do that. Once that is done, we'll be understanding the NFR, okay, non-functional requirement gathering, how it happens, what are the things are involved, what are the steps are involved, what are the details that you need to capture. Okay, what are the right questions that you need to ask in this stage. Okay, so all those things will be understanding that this step is really crucial. Okay, because in this step only you will be defining your scope. So performance testing scopes are defined at this stage, so your managers leads will be there. Okay, so we'll understand how they basically define that boundary. Okay, this is what we are going to do, and this is what we'll be giving in the end of the test. Okay, when the testing, all the testing is done, this is what the expectation is from the performance testing team or the non-functional team. Okay, so we'll be understanding that and how to do that. Okay, asking the right question is very important. The client doesn't know or might have a little bit of idea about performance testing. Okay, so they're having performance issues, they reach out to you, and so it is your responsibility to make them understand and help them in the best possible way. Okay, then questionnaire to gather. Okay, so you need, apart from defining the scope, you need a lot of data, right? Application data, server data, in order to start your performance testing. Okay, so we'll see that how we'll be doing that. Okay, next is application knowledge. So for this we are using an application called MFS. Okay, this is a demo application created by Isha. Okay, so it's a e-wallet application. Okay, so we'll be doing performance testing on this application. It's a live application. uh, so we'll be creating multiple scenarios and we'll be testing it. The good thing about this web application is, let me close this. Okay, so if you look at here, there are a lot of things like, if you look at just, we have written this also, that this application can be used for learning performance testing like LoadRunner, Jmeter. So apart from learning what is there in a performance testing and the things that we are going to learn, in terms of scripting also you'll have good practice on this application, because we have encoded base64 encoding, then plain to URL encoding, then signaling token, that is like more than default value. Okay, these things have been intentionally put in so that in order to you get a good scripting experience. Okay, so and knowledge wise also you will be able to handle if you're getting these challenges in your real time project. Okay, so you will be able to handle that, so that these things have been put in. Then we have this application. Okay, so we'll have an application walkthrough. So we'll understand the application. Okay, so we'll understand what is this application is all about. Then we'll have a detailed architecture. So how this application has been developed. Okay, how this application has been developed, we'll be understanding that. Okay, that and we'll be understanding each and every detail. Okay, like there are some 10 components involved. So there is API gateway, there is proxy, there is firewall. What is their role, how, what job they are doing. Okay, we'll be going in detail understanding the architecture. Let's say that the moment you hit your request from your loader to the response that you're getting in a loader, let's say in browser also, that when I'm hitting this Isha Training Solution.com in your browser and you're getting this response, how your request travel over internet, what went into the server, how it got processed, how did you get the response, we'll be understanding everything. Okay, so for that a little bit understanding of your application architecture is also needed. So we'll be understanding that it is expected from projects also. So let's say you have given a project. In that project you are doing a testing of the application. It should not be like that, okay, I'm just running a script from I've created a load on a script and then I'm just putting in a controller getting the response time. No, that is not the right way. You should have application understanding, so that in order to improve a system I should know the system, right? So that is very crucial. So we'll be doing that as well in our project. Okay, next is test plan creation. We'll be seeing that how test plans are created. We have 2 3 samples. Okay, test plan creation is like planning in advance that okay, these are the activities that I need to do. Okay, so we have some 2 3 samples. Okay, but the idea remains the same, the general idea remains the same. So we'll see the idea and then we'll see some samples, that how different samples can be created. So that is about test plan. Once that is done, we'll be understanding the volumetrics. Okay, so I say that 100 users are using this application. Okay, so how do I design the scenario? Okay, let's say I want to test the merchant. Let's say we'll understand this, what is this merchant rule, fee and taxes. Just if put in a simple word, let's say there are 10 components in the application and there is some certain user base. Now how do you decide that how much users will be put in what section? Okay, what should be the my user load, or how much with, or let's say how much TPS I should be running, which module. So all those things, okay, all those questions will be answered in this particular section, which is workload modeling. Okay, so we'll be discussing that how volumetrics are designed. Okay, how user load distribution is done. Okay, so we'll be discussing this and understanding for this application. So we have certain user base for this application. We'll be distributing it and we'll be logically going, okay, this is how it should be. Okay, what are the questions that you should ask? Okay, because this information is with the client. Okay, you need to get this information on the ground. Sometimes the clients will know, he will tell, okay, test this application with this much user base, test this application with this much TPS. That's okay. Okay, but sometimes clients say, okay, I don't know, I have this much user concurrent user base, what should be the distribution as a performance tester, can you please suggest something? So how to do that? Okay, because you need to ask right questions, okay, and make a sense out of it. It's like a raw data that you have to make a sense out of it and quantify it in a number. Okay, so we'll see that how we'll do that. Then the next thing is performance, business transition for document. Okay, so you have created the scenarios. Let's say 10 modules are there, you've got 10 scenarios. What are the things that you're going to do? What should be your flow? Okay, but we record our scripts, right? So the, let's say, login, log out. Okay, launching, login, log out. That is the way you have created one scenario. Okay, so how do you decide? And once you have decided, okay, so I know that script this moved out of the project or coming new and he is struggling. So it is always advised, and as a best practice, you should create a document. What is the flow of this application, you should document it. And so we'll be doing that as well. And so by this stage you'll have a good understanding about the app, process. So by this time we'll be like, test plan is also done, test design development is also done. Okay, so now script creation will come up. So before this, what I always do is a little bit of recap of our load runner. Okay, so we'll have one session, okay, in which we'll be giving a kind of a revision for our load runner. Okay, so we'll be understanding what is load runner. Okay, then how to finalize the tool. This question is very important, that in a project, how do you I need Jmeter, I need Leo load, all these different testing tools are there, right? So how do you take a call that, okay, I should be using this tool? So we'll be understanding that. Then why loader? Okay, the benefits of loader we'll see. And then a simple like, what are the components are there. Then we have loader. Okay, then we have controller, then we have analysis, a little bit of recap of that. Okay, and what I usually do, I have one deck prepared which cover almost everything which is there in LoadRunner. Okay, so if we'll have a quick, I'll be asking questions from you since it is expected that you know LoadRunner. If you lack somewhere, I'll just fill all those spaces. Okay, so that we'll be doing in that session. Once that is done and our script, our business scenarios are also confirmed, so we'll be working on the script. So scripts are already created. I will give you the scenario. You'll have some 2-3 days so you can work on the script. Okay, so let's say somebody is struggling with it. Okay, so we'll be discussing that. So in one session we'll have one session in which we'll be discussing only the challenges that someone is facing, and there are a few things that are there that I will be discussing it. So these are the six things that you can see. So these things, I have done it. The scripts are already created. I have created it. Okay, I'll be sharing that with you if someone is struggling. If someone has created, if they are struggling with some section, we can discuss that, and we can fix that as well. But these things, I don't think you will be incorporating in your script. So I have been put in forcefully so that in terms of scripting also we should get some good knowledge. So I'll be showing these six things which is needed. So then we will be using VTS in this. Okay, virtual table server, because we have a data dependency here, because user ID password cannot be same, it should be different every time. So for that we'll be learning, okay, what is VTS, how to incorporate VTS, and we'll be using VTS in our projects. Okay, so we'll see that. Then security question handling, then token. The token is some token, some captured some token. Okay, or let's say you captured a parameter which value is coming more than default 256. How to handle that? Then if you're having 401 access issues, then plain to URL encoding, then how to handle dynamic body handling, all these things we'll see. Okay, once the by this stage will our scripts will be completed. Okay, our scripts will be completed. So we'll be moving on to, okay, so we'll be doing a small dry run. Okay, so dry runs like, let's say I've created a scripts. Okay, and you need to check, okay, that okay, they are working fine before the test, right? So you need to do a dry run. So we'll see how to do those dry runs. Okay, once that is done, we'll be doing one session especially on Dynatrace. Okay, so because Dynatrace is the main tool that we'll be using to analyze all the errors that are coming up. So you should have a good understanding. So people who know only Dynatrace, that's a plus for them. But there are people, and most of the people don't know Dynatrace. So we'll be spending some good 2-3 days. Okay, it's written only one day, but from experience, I have to spend some good 3 days at least on Dynatrace itself. Okay, so I have Dynatrace here. So you can see here there are a lot of things. Okay, so there are a lot of things are there in the Dynatrace that you need to learn. Okay, so we'll be creating dashboards, so as of now there is none, so I'll be creating it. By default there are some dashboards that will be shown, but yeah, we'll be creating our own custom dashboard which a person should be needed. So let's say I have 10 things to monitor when I'm running a test. I need to monitor 10 things. I cannot open 10 different windows, okay, and monitor it becomes little difficult when you are monitoring the test. Okay, so how to create a dashboard, what are the things that you should choose when you're using Dynatrace, and when you are running the test. Okay, then there are certain settings that needs to be done. Okay, certain configurations that needs to be done on a Dynatrace side. Okay, and our script also will be doing some changes in our script. So what will happen that all the hits, basically all the hits that you are doing from your load runner, we'll be able to filter it out in our Dynatrace. Okay, so certain change settings need to be done, we'll be seeing that. Okay, and apart from that we'll have a okay, that is very crucial, so we'll be sending some good 2 3 days to understand this. Okay, now once that is done, will not be doing any installation. Okay, how to do installation and all will already be done. Okay, but you will have your own access. Okay, you will have your own access. You can I mean, you'll be sharing your Gmail ID, so we'll be sending the access. You can access it, and you can check it, or during the test also. During the test, it's not that I'll be okay. So when I'm teaching it for this session, it is advisable to see what I'm teaching. Okay, see the screen and practice it later. But when I'm running the test, it is expected from you that should you are checking from your end and sending it in the live class, and I'll be checking on the screen sharing. So that is how it should be. Okay, so we'll be doing that. Then some metrics configuration. Okay, this is for the dashboard creation that we'll be doing. So basic metrics, okay, we'll be getting much more. Okay, I have like not written everything that will be creating it, but yeah, this is a basic metric that someone needs to be monitoring when they are running the test. And then LoadRunner. Okay, so Dynatrace LoadRunner request tracking. So this is how we track it. Okay, we filter out all the requests that is getting generated from our LoadRunner. So we'll be doing that. Okay, so okay, so Dynatrace is done. Okay, Dynatrace is done, but again, it's a paid tool. Okay, it's expensive paid tool. So what about other tools? So Grafana. So how do we use Grafana? Okay, so we'll be seeing that. Okay, how can we use Grafana to monitor the basic metrics, not the advanced. Okay, we have not enabled any level, but yeah, basic monitoring is possible with the Grafana with the current setting that we have. So we'll be seeing that how we'll be doing that. Okay, once that is done, we'll be running three types of tests. So we'll be running load test, scalability test, endurance test. Okay, people who are confused that okay, what are these? So don't worry. So in our, I think, performance life cycle only, or walkthrough, by this time you will be clear, because see, you don't know, so clients also don't know. I'm also hoping so. When I think this is not that deck. Okay, so okay, this is a different deck. So we'll be in this performance walkthrough, we'll be explaining each and every type of testing, and with that testing what will we achieve. Okay, so let's say you have a situation. Why do you do endurance testing? Why do you do escalator testing? Why do you do a load test? All those questions will be answered, so you'll have a good understanding. Okay, and we'll talk about that test as well. But yeah, in terms of scope of this course or this project, we'll be doing these three tests. So load test, scalability test, and endurance test. Okay, so load test. Okay, so load test we'll be designing the scenario. Okay, in controller, that how to design this scenario. How do you decide what should be the ramp up? Okay, how much should be the steady state? What should be the ramp down? All these things we'll be discussing it. Okay, once that is done, then we'll be doing our script execution. Okay, now from past experience, it is not that okay, today we'll be running a test. So in real time project, what happens that you have run a test, okay, and the results are very poor, very poor. So you have to run another round of tests. So in our past batch, what we had to do, we had a similar situation. Okay, so we had a lot of failures. I mean, we'll be defining our SLAs, right, in this step in our NFR. So and if our SLA breached actually, okay, with a large margin, so we have to do a second round of testing also. So so it's not mandatory that okay, we'll run one test, and if the results are good, we will be moving ahead. But if it's very poor, then we have to do another round of testing also. Okay. Then monitoring it, okay, how to monitor it, we'll be seeing okay how to monitor the test, okay, how to analyze the errors that are coming up and how to highlight them. Then server monitoring for Dynatrace, same thing we'll be doing for scalability test and unit test. Okay, so I think hardly 4 days, 4 or 5 days will go in this one only. Okay, once that is done, we'll be seeing how to create the test reports. Okay, so after that, each test will be dropping one mail. Okay, so let's say you are in a project and you have done some testing. Now everybody knows that okay, performance team is or NFT team is doing some kind of testing. So they be expecting, right, that on a high level, what happened? Was it a success? What is the failure? So they want to know that. So how do we do that? So we drop one mail, high level mail, highlighting whether the text, I mean what is the overall system performance, whether that it's a failure, it's a success. Because see, we'll immediately know from the, we have defined our SLAs, right? Okay, that okay, the failure should not be more than this, or the response time should be below that, all those metrics. So we can monitor this on a high level, and as a deep dive analysis can be saved for later. Okay, but high level we can share it. So how do we share all those things, how do we highlight those things? So we'll be seeing that. And after that, how to create a funnel test reports, okay, a full length test reports, how do we create that? So we'll be seeing that. And then how to, I mean, we'll see okay how to analyze. Okay, so from Dynatrace we'll be getting a lot of information. Okay, in terms of we'll be getting a lot of information, how to basically the errors that you have found out, how to share those information. So we'll be seeing that. Then creating a test, executive test summary. Okay, that okay, if, whether this test is successful or the test is a failure, we'll be seeing that. Now once that is done, the question comes up that let's say testing is done, everything is done. Okay, now there are there's a possibility that you are doing the test for the second time, and there's a possibility that you have learned it for the first time. Okay, then you have to document all those things as a lesson learned. Okay, so how to document that? That let's say you have learned something new, so how to document that, we'll be seeing that. And then it comes the updating the required document in the central repository. So we'll be using Confluence. So if I can show you, okay, there you go. So NFR document are, so all the document is the that is needed basically. So you can have a look here. So test result, uh, scripts, flow document, workload modeling, all those things. So this everybody has in a relevant project. What will happen? Your test manager or the development leads, all those people will have there, because they have some deployment. Okay, and they want to get it. They want to check the timelines. Okay, at what time testing team will be closing their scripting, all those things. So in order to take the call, or in order to keep everything managed, or someone who is like a program lead, he wants to manage all the things that are happening. So he wants to see whether the performance is staying on the right track or not. So uh, some kind of platform where the tracking can be done is needed. So this is one of the ways. Okay, and repository also point of view, this is very important, so that if I leave, or let's say I moved to a different project, someone else will come up and they just refer the document, they'll know. Okay, that what are the things that happen in this project. Okay, so then how to approach, I mean, what are the questions that you need to ask in terms of in terms of what is next for this project. Okay, so it's not that the testing has been done closed. Okay, so when the application develop, a continuous deployment will keep on happening. Okay, so when a major deployment is there, it is expected to do another round of testing, so that because there will be a major change in the code, or let's say in one infrastructure side also you have done some major changes. So how to ask them and how to highlight them the need of performance testing. Okay, in the future, so we'll be discussing that. So this will end the performance testing project, as in that okay, sign off will happen. This is last step in any performance testing project. When the sign off is done, will you will be by the end of this, by the end of this day, or you say step, you'll know. Okay, you'll know end to end, okay, how a performance testing projects are executed, how a performance testing, what are the challenges that will come up in a performance testing project, how to handle them. Okay, so you'll have a very good understanding by this time. Okay, so there are few additional bonus topics that we have covered. Okay, that we have covered. So first thing is advanced load on a question. So we'll have one session. So this is for the, this is bonus topics. Okay, so this is for the people who are basically preparing for the interview. So we'll be discussing few questions. Okay, good question, load on questions that are that that I will ask that if I'm taking an interview. Okay, difficult questions, so that to know that person really knows the thing. Then we have a performance testing case studies. Okay, so what will happen that people say, okay, fine, I'm doing the testing, okay, I'm sharing the result, but how do you improve the system? So we have some, I've created some 5 6 case studies that what is the client requirement that came in, okay, what are the things that a performance testing team has done and how it improved the system. Okay, I have created some 5 6 case study. One second, if I can show you. Mm, yeah. So if you can see a business requirement solution delivered and the benefit. So this there was a issue for which the client has come up saying, okay, fine, I have a issue. So and the performance testing team looked at the issue and said, okay, fine, we are going to approach this problem in this way and we're going to do this kind of testing. Okay, and then how that testing has helped to improve the system performance or the save the cost. Okay, I mean, save cost saving is basically if the